Have you ever had a friendship so close it felt it could be something more than that? Where you couldn't describe what the feeling is, and no one expresses how they truly feel, worried it might ruin what you already have? Well, that is what Oregairu captures perfectly. It's an anime that explores the perspective on youth, real genuine relationships, and experiencing love for the first time. I knew about Oregairu for a long time, but I didn't know much about it, so I never decided to watch it until last month when I was trying to find some good rom-coms to watch. But before I knew it, I would be experiencing a roller coaster of emotions. And after now finishing it, I realized this anime truly is something special. And in this video, I'll be explaining why. Youth is a lie. It is nothing but evil. That is what the protagonist Hikagaya Hachiman believes in the start of the series. He's pretty antisocial and is a loner in his class. It's quite a common trope in your average rom-com, but what makes Hikagaya stand out is his mindset. He's pragmatic and has a very cynical view of reality, which honestly made me relate to him. Throughout the series, he constantly has a logical way of thinking and always finds the most efficient ways of doing things that will cause the least amount of damage. It sounds like a positive trait, but it's a flaw at the same time because he doesn't understand emotions. He never thinks about how others will feel due to his pragmatic thinking, which becomes a problem throughout the series. In episode 1, he gets forced to join the service club where he meets Yukino and Yui. These three work together to solve people's problems in the service club. This trio is very important because they all have to rely on one another, which makes each character's personality shine. Yukino is quite similar to Hikagaya, with both of them being pretty intelligent and loners. She's very blunt and honest, especially to Hikagaya, which often leads to the two to argue and bicker. Yui is your cheerful, friendly girl. She may seem like a simple character on the outside, but she's pretty emotionally intelligent and is often the meditator in Yukino and Hachiman's bickering. I love the three characters so much because of how important each member is. At multiple times throughout the series, when the service club needs to help someone, Hikagaya gives the best logical solutions, which often are unmorally right, and even doesn't mind ruining his reputation to get to the solution. Yukino is more so the one that likes to tackle things the way that's the most right and plays the leader role in the club. Yui isn't really analytical like the other two, but more so plays the middle ground and tries to make everyone happy. And it's not like one character has no personality without the other two. Each character has a ton of depth and development, which makes them feel like actual people. You learn how these characters are like around each other as you start to see a deep bond slowly forming. But that relationship between the three starts to show its cracks in season 2. The second season is a lot different from the first in many ways. One of the biggest reasons is the change in animation, but also the shift in the tone of the story. It's still the same Oregairu, but in season 2, things aren't as lighthearted as they used to be. The anime feels more serious and honestly depressing at times, especially with Hikagaya and Yukino. They start having differences in their way of doing things. The conversations start getting really tense, and it feels as if they don't want to say how they truly feel. Yui picks up on this and tries to keep things the same as much as possible, but it comes to the point where Yukino suggests to Hikagaya that he should take some time off the club. He never wanted to join in the first place, and it's clear he's able to solve any problems without her help, so there isn't a reason for him to stay. But deep down, he didn't want to. Hikagaya has never had any genuine relationships with anyone before, so it's very hard for him to communicate how he's feeling or what he wants. Same with Yukino and Yui. The three never discuss how they are truly feeling or what they want between them. Hikagaya questions what does the club even mean to him and why does he want to stay? But the answer is quite simple actually. Yukino and Yui are important to him. It's the first time he's really been close to anyone before. His whole life he has been a loner and was never accepted for who he was. But it didn't matter to Yukino and Yui. The club was the only place where Hikagaya could truly be himself. Even if they only interacted through club activities, it meant a lot to him. That's why Hikagaya told the two that he wanted something genuine. Nothing superficial, not working together just to solve problems. He wanted a real connection with the two, because he's never had one to begin with. That's why it was so hard for him to put it into words. After this scene is when the love triangle becomes pretty prevalent. Hikagaya wants a genuine relationship between the two. Yui has obvious feelings for Hachiman, and Yukino becomes more vulnerable and open to him. This carries over to season 3. The three continue their club activities, but it isn't about solving the problems like how it always was. It's about the feelings they're avoiding, and if one says their true feelings, the club won't ever be the same again. Yui is the first to realize this, and wishes things could stay the same forever, even if it isn't possible. She's always struggled fitting in and in forming genuine connections with others. She's very social but doesn't really have any friends besides Hikagaya and Yukino, even if they might not think of it that way. Hanging out with the two was the most fun she's ever had, and it hurts when she realizes Hachiman doesn't look at her the way she does. Yukino was working with the student council on setting up a prom. She didn't want Hikagaya and Yui to help because she didn't want to rely on them, so the two spent most of the day finding a way to celebrate Hikagaya's sister Komachi's birthday. When they were on their way to bake a cake, Hachiman gets a call saying prom might get cancelled, so he's gonna go back to the school to figure things out. When he tells Yui the news, she gets happy and believes he will be able to fix things knowing him. And it was at this moment when tears streamed down her face. She didn't even realize it and simply stated that she was so relieved that it made her cry. Hikagaya asked if she was okay, but she insisted that she was fine and said he should get going. And once she left, she lets it all out, because she knows at the end of the day, he'll always help out Yukino, and that she is not the one he wants to save. She couldn't keep him by her side forever. In her monologue, she states that she's glad her tears stopped when he was there, because if she kept on crying, he wouldn't have left. She didn't want him to feel sorry for her. It's such a hard position for her to be in, knowing the person you love isn't destined to be with you. She didn't want to tell him to not help Yukino, because she doesn't want him to stop being the kind person he is. But because of that, she's left alone with her tears, feeling immense sadness. Out of all the scenes in Oregairu, this was the one that really hurt me the most. This shows the reality of a genuine relationship. It's about connection and growth. If they never told their true feelings, things would have never changed, and they all would have kept on relying on each other. That's why they all end up realizing the time they have together is slowly diminishing. Wanting something genuine can mean many different things. At first, it was just about something more than superficial relationships, a real friendship. And with that time, they slowly started to realize what a genuine friendship is like. None of these characters ever experienced a true friendship. The club was like a safe space for the three to express their true selves. They've experienced growth, joy, sadness, and anger. A genuine relationship consists of all those attributes and even more. And experiencing all these feelings for the first time ever can make it hard to describe what you think of a certain person. That's why it was so hard for Hikagaya to realize he constantly wanted to help Yukino because he cares for her as a person. Yeah, the three of them were experiencing a love triangle, but the real bigger picture is that they're all experiencing what a true friendship is. I relate to Hikagaya a lot more than I thought I would. Throughout my life, it was pretty hard to make friends. I was always the odd one out of the bunch, but once I was in high school, it came to the point where I could have conversations with someone. It was just that I didn't want to. I felt as if a lot of friendships and relationships in high school were superficial, and that people weren't always real, especially when seeing romantic relationships that I knew will end in no time. I felt different from everybody with my mindset, so I didn't bother that much with trying to make new friends and accepted being the quiet kid. And plus, I didn't really relate to anyone my age at all. It honestly made me have a dumb little ego because of it all. I thought I knew everything and understood how everyone acts, but I was wrong. It took me some time to realize it, but I eventually realized there's people out there that accepted me for who I am, and that not everyone is fake. After watching Oregairu, it made me appreciate more the people I had. I have friends, but I don't have many that I can really say are genuine friends to me. That's why a genuine relationship is such a great thing, because it's not always common. It isn't always pretty. It comes with the good, the bad, and the ugly. But even so, a real friend or partner will stick through the struggles no matter what, because they care for you. That is what was shown in Oregairu. It showed me that genuine relationships aren't perfect. They can be uncomfortable or hard at times, but that's what makes it real. It's easy to hide behind jokes and fake smiles, but a true relationship happens when you are honest, even when it can be hard. Watching Hachiman, Yukino, and Yui struggle to understand each other made me reflect on how I've treated relationships in my own life. It made me realize the people who see the real you and stay anyway are the ones you should deeply hold close. That's the value of a friendship, and Oregairu is what helped me realize that. Thank you for watching. If you've made it till the end, thank you so much for sticking around. After finishing this anime, it really stuck with me to the point where I had to express my thoughts on this series. If you have any comments, thoughts, disagreements, or perspectives, let me know in the comments. I read every comment and reply to some too. But anyways, keep watching anime, subscribe if you want to see more, and Adachi out.